Welcome to the CheezeTalk podcast. I'm your host, Brian Rago. Today I'm joined by Bears Purgatory, or Robert, here to discuss Bears, Packers, and anything NFL, I guess. Before I get to him, I would like to give a shout out to the Open Network for giving me the chance, platform, or umbrella, as I call it, to do my podcast under their brand. Once they hit 400 or 523 followers on Twitter, they will be giving away an 8x10 Jair Alexander autographed picture. And right now they are 52 followers away. Robert, what's up? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Not much. So I am from Illinois. I've been a Bears fan my whole life. Um, Brian Urlacher was the first player that I ever really loved. So I grew up watching him, watching the Brett Favre Bears rivalry, watching the Aaron Rodgers Bears rivalry. So I've been in the thick of it my whole life. My grandpa was my hero growing up, and he was a diehard Bears fan, and so some of my earliest memories are sitting in front of the TV watching Bears games with him.
That's awesome. Are you still in? Are you in Chicago? You said, or
I'm in Central Illinois now.
That's Illinois.
Yep, in the Peoria area.
Okay, so it's still a busy area, kind of, right? Peoria is decent size. Yeah, I'm just like 10 minutes away from Lambeau, so it gets hectic around game day.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the Bears draft this year?
I love it. I think Caleb Williams has that it factor and that kind of swagger that you want from the quarterback position that, frankly, I don't know that the Bears have ever had before. I know there were some people that feel like the Bears should have gone with an edge rusher at 9 overall, but I'm all about putting your rookie quarterback in a place to succeed. So I love the Rome Odunze pick as well. The reports out of camp are good. The impressions of him so far are really good. I just heard on the radio yesterday that in the last, he'd have been wide receiver 1 in 9 of the last 11 drafts. So I'm all about it. Let's get playmakers on the field.
Yeah. So what was your favorite selection from the draft? Was it Williams? Was it Rome? Or
I would say Rome Odunze almost, because the Caleb Williams pick was like a foregone conclusion 3 months ago. So for me, the draft started at pick 9 because we already knew who was going 1 overall.
Right. So you're happy with getting rid of Justin Fields?
Yeah, I like Justin. I really hope he does really well in Pittsburgh. I think Mike Tomlin is the absolute perfect coach to have him learned under. But the Bears' MO is not developing the quarterback situation, right? I don't think that's breaking news to anybody. And Justin Fields needs to be coached. He needs to be trained. He has some probably learned faults from not having much around him, but they need to be corrected. And I don't think the Bears staff is the one to do that. Part of the reason I'm so high on Caleb Williams is because I don't think there's a lot of that needs to be done. Like, he already is starting where we were hoping Justin Fields could make it from what we can tell so far through his college career and training camp.
Do you have faith in the offensive line keeping him on his feet?
I do. I actually think the offensive line is a bit underrated. It was top 5 in rushing protection. And we brought in a new tackle, Kieran, something like that, who has potential to be pretty good. They're saying that he can play all 5 positions. And then we signed a couple centers, one from Cincinnati, especially, that I think has the potential to be has the potential. Ryan Bates has the potential to be a starter and a decent center in the league. That is the one position that I do have a little bit of concern about. but the fact that they brought in two guys to kind of battle it out makes me feel better. Colton Shelton, I think, is the other guy. And both of them have shown glimpses of being a really good center. They just haven't had the opportunity because they're behind somebody better. So I'm hoping this will be a battle that'll drive them both to be their best and give us an opportunity to see what we have at the center position.
Right, and having you said that tackle that or the lineman that can play multiple positions, that's key. I mean, you can see it happen. This North in Green Bay, they have multiple linemen that during COVID and when the injuries are hitting people. I mean, people are taking over for Bakhtiari that were a guard or other side of the line. It's very valuable having someone that knows every spot on the line for when someone goes down. Or else you get somebody in there that isn't isn't too capable of doing the job. So you said you're a lifelong Bears fan, huh?
I am. Yes.
Okay. I'm a lifelong Packers fan, so it's just crazy how you think back to when you started like watching football, and it's like all you ever remember growing up is like for you watching Bears games with your grandpa. For me, it's football's on, and you just grew to love the team that you watched every weekend. So that's cool that you have the fans having fans that catch on later on in life with the sports team and from as a kid watching it's pretty cool to hear the different stories on how different people became fans of a certain team. So it's very cool that you connect that with your grandpa. That's very awesome. What Packer do you love to hate? Or
Well,
have you? What's your most hated Packer? Most disliked
of all
Packer?
time or currently?
Both. Go ahead.
Okay. For a long time, it was Aaron Rodgers. I actually have started to like him a little bit more since he joined the Jets. I kind of enjoyed the Hard Knocks Jets episodes, and I don't know. I've kind of enjoyed the post Packers Aaron Rodgers a lot more than the Packers Aaron Rodgers for a multitude of reasons. But
I think there's Packers players that can probably agree with that too. I think towards the end of his tenure in Green Bay, I think he was getting under a lot of people's skin, kind of rubbing them the wrong way. And I think they're glad that he's gone as well. I mean, he did great for the organization, but at some point you just got to move on, But I wish him the best in New York. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The current Packer that I like to hate on is Jair Alexander. I love playing the number 8. I can't. He's such a bad wide receiver. I can't remember his name. N'Keal Harry. I love playing the N'Keal Harry clip with them cooking Jair Alexander, like the one really good route that the Bears have run against Jair Alexander. But still, it's fun. I love playing that and posting it to Packers fans.
Yeah, it's always like I always say with like when I have like Bears fans on, I've had quite a few on my podcast, and it's always fun to go back and forth. I don't go like I know like the limits, and just like at the end of the day, we're all sports fans. I mean, you gotta have, shall we say, comedic relief just to make your day go on. You know what I'm saying? It's just fun banter going back and forth. I don't take it too far. I mean,
yeah.
I'll be joke like, oh, I wish everyone the best, except for the Bears. The Bears suck. I mean, that's the thing that the Packers fans have said since I can remember. So I mean, it's something that I just throw it out there to get a laugh out of you guys. But yeah, I could see why you Jair Alexander. He's pretty outspoken. It was pretty funny how last year he got suspended for going out and making himself team captain in Carolina. That was that was pretty funny, but I think he's going to do good things this year because they got the whole new defensive coordinator and the new scheme and everything. They're all pretty pumped. There's been like a really good percentage rate of players showing up for the OTAs, which is like around here is kind of unheard of. Because I mean, for the longest time, this time of year, we're still wondering if we're gonna have Aaron Rodgers coming back. But now that's in the past. You got Jordan Love; he's
Right.
here since day one, showing up for everything, and seems to be a, a better bond between the players. They're all kind of in their rookie contracts. They're a young team, and they're all like bonding really good with Jordan Love. And Jordan Love is the reason, one of the top reasons why Josh Jacobs came over, why McKinney came over. I mean, they said in a press conference, Jordan Love was one of the reasons why they came to Green Bay. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
you had Aaron Rodgers saying people come to Green Bay to play with me. Well, I mean, Randall Cobb, and it didn't work out too well for him when he came back. But I don't know. I'm excited for the Packers this year. I think the Bears are gonna. I think they're gonna give the Packers a run for their money. I really do. But I never was a Caleb Williams fan in college. I just thought he's too arrogant. I Justin Fields, I never really had confidence in Ohio State quarterbacks, but he was the one when he came out. He had the height, he had the size, he had the arm. I mean, he could throw the ball a mile, and he had all the weapons at Ohio State. So that's why I don't see why the Bears didn't stick with him when they got DJ Moore, and then they got the guy from the Chargers, Keenan Allen, and then they got. I thought they're going to keep Justin Fields and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, could you imagine his arm with those three receivers? And they got Swift at running back too, right?
Right.
I was just shocked, I guess, when it happened. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, for your sake, I hope Williams does, makes you guys happy. But when they play against the Packers, I hope he doesn't.
Yeah. I think really like if you watch Justin Fields' film in college, he was a pretty good passer and he was good under pressure and he had composure. But I think he really had some learned weaknesses because when he came to the Bears, we didn't have a good line. We didn't have good playmakers. I mean, I made fun of N'Keal Harry a little bit ago, but he was our wide receiver one for a while. Like,
Yeah,
that's a bad, bad team. So I think there were a lot of, I mean, the one with Robert Tunyon, there are a lot of very infamous drops, um, you know, that he had to go through. He got hit a lot. And I think he probably just felt like he was seeing ghosts and just had to get rid of the ball quickly. He stopped going through his progressions. He started being a one read quarterback. And he started only looking at DJ Moore because he was the only player he could trust, and Cole Kmet a little bit, but DJ Moore mostly. And I think a lot of those just learned weaknesses from having 3 years that were, I mean, really unfair to his
yeah,
development.
yeah.
So I'm
It's
hoping.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm hoping the refreshment in Pittsburgh will be really good for him. My best case scenario is that Justin Fields and Caleb Williams are both really good quarterbacks. I would love to see that.
I've been saying for a while. I have a hot take, and I think that Fields will beat out Russell Wilson at least about halfway through the season. I think Russ ain't going to be cooking what they want, and they're going to put in Fields.
Yeah.
I wish Justin Fields the best because, like I said, you see all these Ohio State quarterbacks in the past, and none of them ever really panned out to do anything. I mean, you think of Cardale Jones and was it Troy Smith, and I mean Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. But I mean, they didn't really do anything. I don't know if it was a product of Ohio State, why they were so good, the scheme they ran there, but they never really seemed to pan out in the NFL. So he was the one quarterback that I did think that I was afraid to play him just because he was such a threat, through the air and on the ground. Do you think Caleb Williams is a better on his feet, like running the ball than Justin Fields?
I think Caleb Williams is better on the rollout. I think he's better at keeping his eyes downfield when he feels pressure.
Right.
I think he's better at that now than Fields even has developed into. Fields too often would bail the pocket, and I think Caleb does a better job keeping his eyes down the field and looking for something as long as he possibly can.
Yeah, and then just get rid of it at the very last second, hoping yeah. Yeah, I can
Kind
see
of
where you're
that.
saying where he thought Fields just didn't make all of his reads, and I think he always thought, screw it, run first, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Caleb Williams has more of that even Aaron Rodgers type style of keep your eyes downfield and get rid of the ball. And if it's not there, half a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, he was a Packers fan, wasn't he? Caleb
He's a
Williams?
big Aaron Rodgers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny that there's a guy up here, a content creator, Matt Ramage, who had a shirt made up of a tweet that Caleb Williams did. It was like the tweet on the shirt. It's something about, go Packers or something like that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
When you think of the Bears and Packers rivalry, what comes to mind? Like all the great games
Aaron
and
Rodgers versus Brian Urlacher.
yeah.
Right off the top. I've heard interviews on the Dan Patrick show and things like that both of them have done, and just talking about that rivalry. That was prime Bears Packers rivalry when both teams were good, and you've got an elite defense lined up against an elite offense, and with Donald Driver and Greg Jennings, and against Charles Tillman and Tim Jennings, and you just had a really really good players on both sides of the field.
Mike Brown too, right? Wasn't he a safety?
Yeah.
Mike Brown, yeah. Like Roosevelt. I remember like Urlacher and who was that guy that I can't think of his name now, the other linebacker that crashed his didn't he crash like his Lamborghini or something like that in the freeway in Chicago? And who was the other linebacker? Number 50.
Lance Briggs.
Yeah, Briggs. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a monster, and like you said, Urlacher, and it was just they had top notch defense back then, and Peanut Tillman, and like you said, Tim Jennings, and yeah, it was crazy. But I think of the great rivalry between the two, and I go back to like Favre and Rodgers, and the one that sticks out the most though was when when Rodgers hurt his leg on that night game, the primetime game, and he came back. And the interview after the game, you could tell he was high as a kite. His eyes are, his whole face is just blushing, but that pass, and that pass to Cobb to go to go to the playoffs, that last second pass over the middle, but yeah, it's just like you said, it's just a great rivalry in the NFL. They go back years, and it's awesome, to rethink those moments and everything. So
Yeah.
What was your most memorable game that you've watched, Bears and Packers?
Oh man, that's a tough question. Probably the divisional round in 06. One of the few big games I can remember the Bears winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My like I said, my biggest one I think was that from what I can remember is that one that passed to Cobb. Was that game was that in Soldier Field?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see here. Have you ever been to Lambeau Field?
I haven't.
You haven't.
Nope.
Even though you just like the Packers, I think if you're like a history buff of the NFL, they have their own Hall of Fame within the stadium. I think if you ever do come up here, I think it'd be cool for you to go to the Packers Hall of Fame and just walk around and look at the history of. I mean, there's not just Packers history; there's NFL history in there, and that's something that a lot of people got to respect and whatnot. But speaking of stadiums, what are your thoughts on the stadium proposal for the Bears?
I might be in the minority, but I love it. I think it would be great for the Bears to have a multi-purpose use stadium lakeside. Everything about it sounds great to me.
Yeah, you could have all the millionaires pull up their yachts to the piers and take a cab right to the stadium.
Yeah, why not?
Might as well put a loading dock right at the end of the stadium where they can all just, or a pier where they can all just anchor their boats and.
Yeah, there you go. Season ticket holders.
Well, in here we call them owners because we're all, if you have a piece of paper that says you're an owner of the Packers, they have a stock sale. And what do you think on the potential of Jordan Love? Do you think he's Green Bay's future? I mean, you saw a glimpse of him last year and what he could do. Do you think he has a 10, 15-year career with the Packers?
He shocked me, honestly. I thought he was going to be horrible for a lot of reasons. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting is that the Packers did not release like any footage whatsoever of training camp about a year ago this time. They didn't want anyone seeing Jordan Love. And so I think the assumption from Bears fans was that he's bad. So the Packers don't want anyone to know it. But I don't think so. I think he's got the character, the right character to be a leader, to be a quarterback. I've listened to a couple of his interviews, and I unfortunately liked him a little bit more than I wanted to. And yeah, I think he's got the. I don't know that he'll ever be a top 5 quarterback in my opinion, but I think he's a good quarterback and is in a very, very good system.
Yeah.
I think Matt LaFleur is underrated with his coaching and his scheming. It seemed like every play he had a wide receiver wide open.
Yeah, I mean, you go back and you say that, and I've been saying, it's been talked about here several times, like when he was brought in, there's kind of, you could kind of tell there's a rift between him and Rodgers, but they always made like everything was okay. But Rodgers, he was changing the play in the huddle. He was. Because you look at the plays that were being called with Rodgers at quarterback compared to the success Jordan Love had. I mean, like you said, people wide open against the Cowboys. I mean, we smoked the Cowboys, and there was that one play where Musgrave was nobody within a 30-yard radius of him, wide open. I mean, just the way he schemes, and yeah, I mean, LaFleur his offense is scary when it's hitting on all cylinders. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I think for that reason, it's almost hard to know how good Jordan Love is. He's good at finding the open man and going through his reads. That's good. But honestly, that's what I kept thinking the whole season. Like, how are these guys always open?
Yeah. Yeah. Then even like you had Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, they're figuring out his hamstring, so he should be, running at 100% when the season starts. And Dontavian Wicks, his offseason training program, he's a monster. Just the work that he's putting in, and you got everyone buying into the system. And like their combined salary is like all the receivers we have on our roster is like $11 million for all of them combined. And then you got, who is it that just signed Justin Jefferson? He signed like what was it per year? Like 30 something million a year or whatnot. And it's just crazy to see it's just crazy to see the production out of all these guys out with the combined. I mean, it's even funny thinking about Alan Lazard going to the Jets, and he was making $11 million a year for nothing, and for the money that the Jets are paying him, we're paying, a handful and a half receivers and tight ends that are just doing a lot better than him. But anyways, I always ask this question: what's your favorite type of cheese?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It's a random question. I apologize, but it's one that
No,
I
it's
always
okay.
ask.
No, it's a tough one though. It's a good one. I would consider myself somewhat of a cheese enthusiast.
You can say cheesehead. That's fine.
No, I'm not gonna say that. Maybe Probably Gouda. I
Okay.
put Gouda pretty high up there.
Yeah.
Pepper
Yeah.
Jack is close.
Ghost pepper is good too.
Yeah,
That's my favorite. There's a local cheese shop by me that they have. So far, from what I found, I mean, they're my dealer. You know, they're they feed my obsession of cheese, and I love their ghost pepper cheese. It's like a Monterey Jack ghost pepper cheese. It's pretty good.
nice.
So, if you're going to a tailgate, what are you bringing?
Um, do I have a grill accessible?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm probably bringing burgers and brats. Um, that is my MO. I'm not worried about the drinks or the sides or anything else. Somebody else can worry about that. I'm on the grill, grilling the burgers to
Okay.
medium rare and the
Ooh,
brats.
yes. Do you the brats? You gonna boil them first, or you just gonna cook them right out of the package?
No, cook them out of the package.
You don't boil them first?
No,
No. Okay.
no way.
I suppose I've done it both ways, so I just whatever is more convenient for me. Like
Yeah,
I like to boil them and then just get color to them, a little bit of char, and then I know they're perfect. So, um, does ketchup go on a hot dog?
no, absolutely not.
That's the answer I expected out of a Illinoisan, whatever you want
That's
to.
right.
Is that what you guys call each other? Illinois,
Illinoisan? I don't know.
Illinoisan. What's your favorite sports movie?
Ooh, probably Glory Road.
Okay, it's a good one.
Yeah,
I got a couple
I
more
think it's
questions because I
underrated.
know you got to go. I'm gonna keep it around a half hour for you because I know you got stuff going on. I got like three more questions.
Yeah.
Let me see. One, two, three. Okay, yeah. First one. When you hear Green Bay, you think of the history of the team and all the glory years in the '60s and stuff, whatnot. What comes to mind as far as history when you think of Green Bay or when you hear Green Bay?
The quarterbacks, right? Bart Starr to Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to hopefully not, but maybe Jordan Love.
Okay. Which player for the Bears has a breakout year this year?
Breakout year.
I mean, DJ Moore had a great year last year, but that was kind of expected.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go off the board a little bit. I'm gonna say DeAndre Swift. And the
Okay.
reason I'm saying that is because he's been good, but nobody has looked at him as elite. And I think he was a really, really good prospect coming out of college, coming out of Georgia. He has a really, really good profile. And if you look at the numbers, he would have been a pretty good running back last season if it wasn't for the tush push, right? So he lost so many touchdowns to Jalen Hurts. And I think just having those numbers is going to up the way that people look at him.
Yeah, he's a how you want to say it? He's quick and he likes contact. When you hear a
Yeah,
helmet
he's
on helmet,
shifty.
I wouldn't want to get hit by him. I wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
defender taking a hit from him. There's no way. All right. Last question. Biggest draft bust for the Bears in your lifetime.
Kevin White, probably.
He was a receiver from West Virginia, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
was there a lot of hype around him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, never put it together.
Yeah, it's too bad when you see all these kids come, but I think once they hit the league, sometimes I don't know what happens. They just too much going on outside of football. They don't concentrate on what they're supposed to, and they just lose track of you know the big picture, I guess. Well, like I said, I know you gotta get going. I thank you for being on my show. I truly appreciate it. I do hope to have you on down the road, maybe when training camp starts. If you're
That'd be
cool with
great.
that, we'll be in touch. And hope your mom comes in okay and everything. And
Thanks.
you
Yeah.
you have a good weekend, okay?
Yeah, you too, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks
Well,
for
hey,
having me on.
where can people find you at?
Easiest place to hit me up is on Twitter or X at Bears Purgatory. I am planning to start writing some sports articles, so I'll post links to there. But it'll all be through my Twitter platform is the easiest way to find me.
Perfect. Well, again, thank you, and go Pack, go.
No, bear down.
All right. Take care, buddy.
All right, you too.
See ya.